Hey everybody, early stoppage MMA here. Today we're going to go over the UFC Perth card that just wrapped up last night. Do a quick review, talk about some of the fights, some of the highlights, and some of the big takeaways from the evening. So we'll just start straight away with the early prelims, or the prelims, I guess. Starting with the first fight, Alexis Thainara took home the win over Loma Lookboom. It was a pretty impressive performance from Alexa Thainara. It'll be interesting to see what she does going forward. I don't have a whole lot to say beyond that. I thought Luma Look Boom would look a little better. Her Muay Thai style is good, but I think she is honestly kind of undersized for the division. So it is what it is. Moving on. Brandon Pericic. I think that's how you say it. I don't remember. Super impressive. I think even fighting this other guy who I believe was short notice looked quite impressive at heavyweight. It's fun to have somebody who's an actual heavyweight prospect with seemingly some actual skill coming into the division. Very excited to see what this guy does. Super impressive performance, knocking him out brutally, brutally. Go watch this finish if you have not seen it yet. It is disgusting. Moving on from there, we've got Michelle Montague and Luana Carolina. I was very impressed with Michelle Montague's performance. Her striking is nothing special, but she herself and her style with the heavy grappling and the way she grapples and how she works when she grapples reminds me a lot of Anthony Hernandez. It's very entertaining and pretty brutal to watch. So I'm excited to see what she does going forward. I think it's maybe the most excited I've been to watch someone in the women's bantamweight division in a long time. Cannot wait to see where she goes from there. Moving on, we've got Colby Thickness versus Jusias Musias. Colby Thickness takes home this fight. It was pretty close. Colby Thickness is an interesting case where like I wanna love him because I'm a Volk fanboy, but I would not say what we saw was all that impressive. Like he has skills that are really good, he has moments that are really good, but overall together as a package, Colby Thickness is, I don't believe, ranked material. I think he's somewhat young, so maybe there's time to develop, but we saw him struggle. We saw him struggle against Alexandra Pantoja or Topuria as well. So the verdict is kind of out on Colby Thickness. Jamie Malarkey, I cannot believe that Jamie Malarkey won a fight. I feel like it's been so long. One, since I watched him fight, but two, seeing him win one. It was okay. It was impressive enough. Nothing super special. I don't think that he's going to go on to be this absolute killer. But, good for Jamie Malarkey to get a win, I would say. Cam Rouston, pretty impressive performance. Pretty cool performance. Nice knockout. It was fun to see. Horrible post-fight speech. It did not ooze confidence. I guess there was nothing wrong. Paying tribute to Izzy was cool. Loved that. But, man, I don't know. I don't know about that. The delivery of that speech. People are being a little bit mean about it, more than they should be, but yeah. It's cool to have somebody at middleweight, but middleweight's already so stacked that it's like, it's too early to tell what Cam is going to do going forward, I would say. Moving on from there, rounding out the prelims, we had Navajo Sterling versus Rodolfo Bellato. In a very entertaining fight, Navajo Sterling just looked good. Rodolfo Bellato fought and looked pretty dangerous as well. Bellato looked better than we've seen him look in a while, I would say. There's certainly room to grow for him as well, especially in the light heavyweight division, because that is a very weak division at the bottom of the rankings. So I think there's room for both these guys. Navajo Sterling really does kind of seem like he's going to go on to do some cool things. Man, it is watching him fight that was crazy. It's like watching Izzy fight again. It was cool to see at the end of the first round as well, Navajo Sterling kind of start to go for it and really start to throw, whereas normally we've seen him just kind of conventionally point fight most of the rounds, most of his fights. Pretty cool, in my opinion. I really liked it. Navajo Sterling is somebody I wasn't super on board with yet, but I definitely am now after watching him fight. Moving on to the main card. So we had Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell opening it up. Man, this was high-paced as shit. There was some serious intent to hurt being thrown around in the beginning of this fight. Tom Nolan comes through, gets the win. Pretty impressive, especially for the pace that these two were fighting at and all this. It's going to be exciting to see where Tom Nolan goes. If he continues to fight the way he did in this one against the other guys in the lightweight division that will kind of welcome that, we have a very entertaining fighter on our hands. To see him also get the submission and to be hanging out on the feet, like pretty well rounded. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tom Nolan is somebody that has a lot of potential, at the very least in excitement, I would say. Moving on from there, Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. Now, if you've been watching us, you know that Neil Magny is kind of the GOAT around here. He's pretty fucking awesome. We love him. We respect him. That being said, I picked Jake Matthews to win this one. I got fucking Magnied in the year of our Lord 2025, and I cannot believe it. Jake Matthews looked really good in his last two fights, I thought. I was pretty impressed with it. And in the first 2 rounds of this fight, he was looking pretty good. But Neil Magny is unstoppable, and he's incredibly good. And so he comes out here, inexplicably has some of the best striking, and looks one of the best on the feet that we've seen him in, I feel like years at this point, at the ripe age of 38. You just cannot predict this man. You just cannot do it. It was exactly like watching the Mike Malott fight again. Incredible. So, props to Neil. He is a fucking legend. I always am like, man, he should retire when he loses. But clearly he can stick around and win. So, yeah, fuck it. Neil Magny forever. Coming for the belt. Moving on from there, we'll go to the final 3 fights. In the featured fight of the night, we had Jack Jenkins fighting Ramon Tavares. This was a pretty entertaining fight. What is Ramon Tavares made out of, by the way? Because some of the shots that Jack Jenkins was landing on this guy should have fucking killed him, let alone put him out. But nope, nevertheless. I think Jack Jenkins, it was fun to see him come back and get a victory. I'm a Jack Jenkins fan, I would say. I think his striking is really good. He's pretty well-rounded. He's an entertaining fighter. I think he shows a lot of promise and potential. But the persisting issues in his career so far of having a great first 2 rounds and then losing in the third, or maybe just slowing down and coasting in the third, has put him in the position to get submitted, and then in this fight kind of got him into some trouble where the fight was a bit closer in that round because Tavares really started to put on the gas. But nevertheless, he pulls it out. I felt like he won that fight, especially with some of the trips. Man, if he can kind of figure out his pacing, I don't entirely blame him too for getting him tired in that third round and starting to kind of coast, because the first 2 rounds were pretty fucking high paced. If he can fix that and keep up like the trips that he was doing with his crisp boxing, we could have a Petr Yan at featherweight in due time. I don't think he'll ever be that good, but a similar entertainment factor and sort of style where that's like boxing mixed in with some pretty impressive trips and some acceptable grappling, I would say. So excited to see where Jack Jenkins goes from here. Moving on to the next fight, we got the co-main event, which Jimmy Crute submitted Ivan Erslan. This went exactly how I thought it was going to. I actually thought it would happen in the second round, but I knew Jimmy Crute would do it. Man, Jimmy Crute is a frightening individual. I mean, he's so big. I don't know how to explain this, but it's like he is like the bare minimum just scraping by at light heavyweight because he just looks enormous. I mean, he just like Hulk modes his way through all of his fights. That submission that he had, I thought he was going to rip Erslan's fucking head off like the Predator. It was shit. It was crazy. I don't understand how he does this, but his athleticism is crazy. His strength is crazy. He's got good grappling, which I think could take him pretty far, especially at the light heavyweight division. It seems like Jimmy Crute is back, but man, his striking is just not very good for one, but two, so slow. I mean, he's so powerful, but as a consequence of that, this guy lumbers around, and all of his punches are like they're being thrown underwater. Yeah, excited to see where he goes for sure. And I think Jimmy Crute has shown that he's here to stay. He's here to compete, and he has potential. But man, oh man, I would like to see him box less or strike less, to be completely honest. Moving on to the main event, this was sad. This was really fucking sad. Going into this, I had a gut feeling like Carlos Ulberg was probably going to win this. And I had this, I've been fighting the notion of all week. I love Dominic Reyes, getting excited for him in this comeback arc that he seemed to be on, while also fighting the ideas that, it didn't really look like his competition was all that great, that he was knocking out. It was impressive that he was doing it, but realistically, and I think we know at this point, his best win was the Jacoby win. That's aged the best, but the Anthony Smith win means virtually nothing. The Krylov win I thought was good, and then we watched Krylov fight again, and I was like, oh no, I don't think that win is actually that good. So I had a suspicion that this is how this was going to go down, and it did, and this is kind of just a sad day, because not only do now we have Carlos Ulberg probably getting the next title shot. I don't really love Carlos Ulberg. This was an exciting fight. Most of the time he's just kind of a point fighter. He's not really knocking anyone out. But also this is Dominic Reyes, so I don't think he's going to be doing any of the guys in the top 5 like this. It's unfortunate. Dominic Reyes was... I appreciate what he was. He totally beat Jones. I will die on that fucking hill. I think that is just objectively true. The dude is a legend, but man, he's just not. I mean, he's older. The chin is gone. And to be honest with you, he looked so good in his last fights. He looked terrible in this fight. I mean, not even a modicum of success. He could not catch up at all. Everything the commentary team was saying was just correct, about how it felt like he had a shorter reach. I thought maybe he'd try to grapple. I don't know what Reyes was going for here. I don't know what the game plan was. It's just sad to see, because if this is how he's done, he's not beating Khalil. He's not beating Yuri again. It's just not going to happen. The Reyes arc is over. I hate to say that. I really would honestly think I would like to see him retire, which is really sad, but I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't see him getting any higher. The chin is gone. I would rather see him just avoid damage and just call it a day, because he has hit his ceiling now. The chances of him winning the belt are gone. The comeback dream is a bit dead. And that sucks. It really fucking sucks. But that, kudos to Ulberg. Impressive performance. So, I mean, Dominic Reyes couldn't do anything, and part of that was kudos to Carlos Ulberg. So this was it was an interesting fight night. It wasn't the most amazing one. I think on paper it's garbage. This needed more ranked fighters, especially ranked Australians, because there were quite a few of them that could have been on this card, like Kai Kara France or Steve Urseg. But you can only do so much, I guess. Overall, I do think it showed that there's a pretty cool pool of talent coming up in these divisions from Australia. I think that these guys established themselves as pretty exciting, living up to the Australian stereotype of just being these good boxers or wrestlers that just scramble and don't feel content to just stay on the ground. I'm excited to see where all these guys go. It was a pretty fun night of fights, but I'm ready to get back to a pay-per-view. We made it through our pay-per-view-less month, and I'm so ready to watch the upcoming pay-per-view. So stay tuned for our picks on that, some other videos on that. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the fights, and I hope you have a good week. Peace.